Okay, class, let me put a few thoughts together in response to the discussion board on the authorship of Isaiah. Virtually everybody concluded that the author of Isaiah was Isaiah. Good job. And I think the Oswalt commentary lays out a good case. The reason I had you read that was not to brainwash you, but he's one of the few who actually lays out the points and the counterpoints and gives an argument. So I think it's the best way to get an overview of it. Let me share with you just two thoughts of why I'm convinced that there was only one Isaiah. Um, One is this. Here is my family in Israel. This is an area called Qumran, and it is by the Dead Sea. In fact, we're looking at the camera, but behind the cameraman would be the Dead Sea. And in our background is a cave, and this is one of the Qumran caves in which the Dead Sea Scrolls were found in 1947. Now, in 47, when they found all these scrolls, one of the great finds was an entire scroll of Isaiah. It's called the Great Scroll because all 66 chapters are contained there. Now, what we discover is this. Let me now take you to this is actually um, a copy of the Great Scroll, and you can find it on this website, dds.collections.imj.org, IL Isaiah. Hopefully you can see that. So now I'm not claiming to be some Hebrew expert. I do know you read from right to left, and you go in this direct. You go from right to left as you're reading the scroll. So what's interesting, and the ESV Study Bible Intro to Isaiah points this out. With this site, as you scroll down, it actually highlights the verses. So here we're in chapter 38, verse 5, 38, verse 7. And if you keep going, here we have chapter 39, verse 6. Whoa. Okay, and if you click on it, it comes up in English. So here we have 39, verse 6, 39, verse 7, 39, verse 8, and that's the last verse of chapter 39. 40, supposedly where Isaiah 2 begins, starts right there. Chapter 40, verse 1. So the idea here is that the Qumran scroll of Isaiah, which dates at least 100 to 200 years before the time of Christ, Isaiah was seen as a unity. There was not separate books. In fact, the last column of chapter 39, they don't start even a new column for chapter 40. They start chapter 40 in this column, showing that at least by this time, Isaiah was seen as one unified book. Okay. Now, that's not an airtight argument, but it is one of the contributing arguments. But I do think the biggest argument has to do with one inspired writer, John, quoting Isaiah. And let me just show you the key text here. In John 12, it says, though he had done so many signs before them, they still did not believe in him, so that the word spoken by the prophet Isaiah might be fulfilled. And now he's quoting from Isaiah 53:1. Lord, who has believed what he heard from us, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? So that would be a quote from the second half of the book, Isaiah 53. Here in verse 39, therefore they could not believe, for again Isaiah said, he has blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, lest they see with their eyes and understand with their heart and turn, and I would heal them. Isaiah said these things because he saw his glory. NIV says Jesus' glory, and I think the pronoun is referring to Jesus. So who did Isaiah see in the temple? Jesus, and spoke of him. So here you have Isaiah 40 attributing both these quotes, one from chapter 6, one from chapter 53, to a guy named Isaiah. Now, you say, well, maybe he's referring to Isaiah as a book, not necessarily the prophet himself, kind of like the Moody Commentary is a compilation of Moody professors who've written commentaries on each book, compiled by Michael Van Laneham and Michael Rydelnik. And sometimes we might refer to it as, let's see what Rydelnik has to say. Okay, let's see what Isaiah has to say. But I don't think we can do that because look at how John refers to Isaiah in verse 38. So that the word spoken by the prophet Isaiah might be fulfilled. He attributes, he points out that this is Isaiah the prophet, not Isaiah the scroll or the editor, but Isaiah the prophet. And these are the words spoken by Isaiah the prophet. And then verse 39, therefore they could not believe, for again Isaiah said. So I think John is pointing not just to the finished compilation that we call Isaiah, he is attributing these quotes to the prophet Isaiah. So and when you have one inspired author commenting on another inspired author, I think we have to go with the conclusion that there was one Isaiah. So that's the strongest argument in my mind. I don't think Oswald pointed this out. I did see this in the ESV intro, and I think a number of you pointed this out also. So thanks for listening. Go read Isaiah.